It's a hot one tonight. It is a hot one tonight. Just chilling right now. Well, it's a Saturday morning now, but Friday night to me, it's not Saturday until I wake up tomorrow. Woo. So I thought I'd check this out. And maybe I have the worst background in all of, not that this is a podcast, but streaming. But, hey, what else you're doing on a Saturday morning? I have currently nobody watching, 0 thumbs up, but that's okay. I just got banned again off of TikTok Live. They reported me for hate speech, and I didn't say anything. I think I think the new thing on TikTok Live, at least in my, and I'm sure it's the same with YouTube Live, that trolls try and get you kicked off your channel. They report you for hate speech or whatever. And this is now 2 weeks in a row on TikTok Live. I've been taken down and given a week suspension. So it's unfortunate. But, there's not much I can do about it. You drive a sick car. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Catherine. Can I ask how you know what kind of car I drive? That is scary to hear that. That someone on YouTube knows what kind of car I drive. Maybe you're local. Welcome aboard. The Earl Skakel YouTube Friday night, Saturday morning stream. Sometimes I'm lucky and get as many as 10 people on here. No, you mentioned it once on some podcast somewhere. Oh, yes, I drive a Jeep. I've had many different cars. Let me see if I can name all my cars in order. I started off in 1986 with a bright red BMW 318i. I then went to a Jeep, I think in about 89, a red Jeep, which is funny because that's what I have now. And then I went from the Jeep to a convertible Mustang, had that for a while. I then went from the Mustang to a Ford Expedition, which was like right when the big wave of bigger SUVs came about. And then from the Ford Expedition, I went to a Dodge Magnum, which is probably my favorite car. Just kind of an odd looking car. It's like a souped up station wagon. And I had that for about 7 years. Then I went to the Hellcat, which is definitely the fastest car I ever owned. I think it's 707 horsepower. And when I drove off the lot, the guy kind of gave me a wink and was like, it's probably a little more than that. But for legal reasons, we can only say it's 707 horsepower. And so I had that for 3 years, and now I drive a Jeep Rubicon, fully loaded. It's pretty slow compared to the Hellcat, but it's nice. I like it. Can fit a lot into it. And my lease is up in about 7 months, so I'm not sure what I'm going to get. towards anything. Maybe I'll try the Ford Bronco next. Of course, I live in West Hollywood, which is a very expensive part of town insurance-wise. And well, I like Jeeps. I really got into the television show Animal Kingdom, so they were all Jeeps on that show. So yeah, Jeeps look cool on these guys. So we'll see. I have 6, 7, 8 months to figure it out. I mean, the Hellcat was very expensive insurance-wise, and in my neighborhood, it's for whatever reason, Broncos are too sketchy. So, well, I'm not going to be off-roading, actually, so I don't really care about the center of gravity. I mean, I'm a street driver, I guess, and outside of driving to Vegas every now and then, I won't be hitting any wacky twists and turns. And I've even thought of, maybe a BMW, go back to my roots. And if I win the Mega Millions lottery today, maybe I'll just get a couple Porsches. But I'm not counting on that. But someone's got to win it. So I just have, well, I mean, most people do because of O.J. Simpson, but the new Broncos, I don't know, I kind of like the way they look. I would have gotten one, actually, over the Jeep. I think I was getting the Sport Bronco, but they didn't. It was like a year wait, and I didn't want to wait a year. Yeah, I've never heard that. I mean, I highly doubt you have to take out the whole engine to do basic maintenance on a BMW, but I don't know. I'm not a car freak per se. You would think I would be, given all the cars I've had. But you shouldn't have any engine problems or major problems in the. I'll probably lease for the rest of my life. I used to buy cars because I drove a lot, so a lease was financially impractical, but now I don't drive as much, so it's not so bad. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Catherine. Yeah, I mean, I'm, like I said, a city driver, so I don't make any evasive movers. I don't think I mean, I was rear-ended once in, I don't know, the mid-'80s. And no, that's not a sex joke. So, I'm a pretty good driver, actually. I think I've gotten maybe 2 speeding tickets in 30 years of driving. So, we'll see. I've got time to think about it. I mean, I don't hit my lease miles at all. I think my lease on the Jeep is 15,000 miles a year, and I don't even think I have 14,200. So, it's just, it's always fun to look forward to getting a new car. The last few cars I've used an auto broker, which is awesome. They do everything. They literally drive the car to your house. You sign 2 pieces of paper. There's no negotiating. You tell them what you want to pay, and they go out and get it. My last guy did a great job. He actually got me money back. He sold the Hellcat, and I was like, well, I mean, I think I was on the Hellcat forum. I had some issue with the car. I forget what it was now. I think it was an electrical problem. And I had an electrical problem with the Dodge Magnum, which is why I had to get rid of it. I remember one night I was at a yoga studio, and I had a midnight call time for the TV show I'm Dying Up Here. They were doing a big pool scene, and I get in the car about 10:30 because I timed it where the yoga class would end. I could shower and then go right to set, and my car wouldn't start, and it turns out the whole electrical system went. So yeah, I mean, I think with the Hellcat, I think I think I remember what it was. It was something to do with the brakes, and I had just gotten new brakes, and I still heard the noise. Um, so I went on some Dodge Hellcat forum, and I don't think I ever ended up fixing the problem. It was really weird. And I mean, I drive with kind of a heavy foot, but I got new brakes, and I still heard the noise, and I was like, oh, this isn't good. Let me go on the Car Geeks forum, and there was a lot of advice and stuff. But luckily, I think this was all happening right around when I was going to get rid of the car anyway. So now the funny thing about the Hellcat is about maybe 4 months after I sold it, I got a warrant um, in the mail for my arrest for like a 200-mile-an-hour speeding ticket in Minnesota, and it turns out they just didn't get the paperwork done in terms of new ownership of the car. So I was relieved of that, but it was kind of funny to see what some people do with a Hellcat. I mean, I think the speedometer on a Hellcat, I think it goes up to 200. I want to say 210, but I think the fastest I ever drove it was going to Vegas. There's that one stretch. Now I'm going from Los Angeles, so I'm hitting the 15, and then you hit that one stretch with that funny town with all X's and Y's and Z's. I think it's called like Zizix or something. And there's no cops because there's just no cop station for like 100 miles each way. So you can let loose, and I think I hit 150 just for a couple seconds, and it's pretty scary. Because in a Hellcat, it is a smooth ride. I mean, you can't really, I mean, it's not a car, I think, to take corners very fast in. But, straight ahead speed, it's so smooth that, I was at 80 miles an hour and it felt like I was going 30. Uh, so I could see why you get a lot of tickets in that car, because you could be just listening to music, head out the window, or you're looking out the window, not out the window, and before you know it, you're at 100 miles an hour. So, what part of Canada are you from? I'm living in West Hollywood, California. I've been to Canada a lot for stand up. I think I've done Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, and Montreal a few times. The Just for Laughs festival for a roast battle. But I like Canada because I'm a big hockey guy. So when I do hockey jokes, usually when I was featuring for headliners, I would start doing better than the headliners, and they'd be like, "Who the fuck is Jerome McGinley? Why are people laughing at that?" Okay, yeah, I've done Vancouver. I think I did the Vogue Theater with Rob Schneider, and then we went to some other theater on Victoria Island. We had to take one of those weird pontoon planes. It was cool. I would go back now to headline. Montreal's amazing. I mean, the buildings are just so beautiful, and um, it really, like, I don't know. I love Los Angeles, so I don't know if I could ever live anywhere else, but I definitely hope to go back to Montreal for Just for Laughs as a stand-up. I did Just for Laughs 2 times as a roast battle contestant. But that's not my life anymore. So now I want to go up there as a stand up. Hey, I got 3 people watching. That's pretty good. I know I have to start doing these more often and consistently. So this week I'm going to play with the times and see what time I can get the most amount of people. Yeah, no, I love Montreal. Hey, if you're on Instagram, Catherine, follow me. Here's the beauty about following me. I'm Earl Skakel on everything: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I am on Patreon. You got to pay for that, but I think it's pretty reasonable. Um, so, and if you're ever in Los Angeles, like for the other 2 people listening, if you're Los Angeles based, I'm at the Comedy Store tonight, 12:15 in the main room. Be there or not. And if you DM me on Instagram, I'll get you in for free and show you a good time. And hopefully you'll watch my special, which is coming out in a few months. I think people will like how I'm doing it. That's the plan because it's been a lot of work. We're doing like a half special, half documentary. And okay, I hate social media as well. And my Patreon. I mean, I love my Patreon. If you go on a Catherine, and it's just Earl Skakel, I put up a lot, and it's pretty affordable in my opinion. I'm not necessarily doing it for money. I think I only have 13 subscribers. Which is pretty minuscule when you see I think Tim Dillon has like 20,000 subscribers or something like that. So, you know, but we all got to start somewhere, I guess. So, yeah, check me out. And that's EarlSkakel. I guess I'm trying to concentrate. If I had to rank all my social media, I would say I want to do the most on, I guess, Instagram, then YouTube, then Twitter. I mean, TikTok, I'm trying. I'm 54, so I just think that the format and the humor is just not for me. I've never once seen a TikTok video that's made me laugh. But I'm also not, I think, the target demographic that they are looking for. So, um, you know, that's my cross to bear. Like I sent them a really angry message when I got banned last week. Going, you guys didn't even give me a reason, really. You just said hate speech, and I know I didn't say anything. And they didn't even get back to me. So there you go. But I'm probably going to call it on this one. Maybe Saturday. I guess it's Saturday morning, technically, at 2 in the morning. Is not the best time to do a YouTube stream. But you live and learn. It is July 29th. That was my mom's birthday. She's up in heaven. I miss her a lot. Yeah, it is weird. I mean, like on TikTok, here's the crazy thing about the algorithm and whatnot. When I would do TikTok lives at like 3 in the morning my time, I'd have 200 to 300 people. Of course, it goes up and down by the second, but I would say on average I had 250 people at 3 in the morning my time, LA time. And then I would do a TikTok live at like 4 p.m., which I would think would be a lot of people that are going on TikTok. And I would have like literally 10 people. Oh, thank you, Catherine. I lost my parents 2 months apart in 1998. But I'm actually glad it ended that way because they were really in love with each other. So I know it sounds kind of macabre to say that, but um, here's the thing, people underestimate the value of dogs, and I have a dog right now to my right. But the downfall of my parents' lives all started when their 21-year-old Yorkshire Terrier Sheba passed away. And then a few months later, my mom passed, and then my dad, because that dog was their whole world. Now, they were also both very sick, but um, they were, mom was 69 and dad was 74, so not like old, but, not young by any means. And mom smoked a lot, so she had, like, so much cancer. It's like I've never seen someone with so much cancer. Bone cancer, skin cancer, and then I guess what killed her was brain cancer, which is pretty brutal. And then dad's body just gave out. He was a pretty hard charging guy. If you look up James Skakel, you'll see several articles written on him. He was like a macho man of the 60s. And, he paid the price. So, but, he was I miss them both a lot. But, Catherine, thank you for talking with me. See if I could just get like maybe 300 more people like you, Catherine. Uh, yeah, I mean, it is tough. Like, anyone who smokes cigarettes, which I believe was the main source of my mom's death, uh, I flew. This is how in sync me and my mom were. Um, I lived in LA at the time, or I still live in LA at the time. They were living in Miami. So I flew to Miami the morning she died, and literally, my two sisters were with her in the room. And um, as soon as the cab pulled up in the driveway, they said mom took her last breath. Well, I hate to go from that to this, but I mean, actually, Catherine, if you look at other people's Patreons, mine's pretty affordable, especially the $5 level. I mean, the $20 level, you do get some of the more raunchier videos that, I want people who pay $20 a month to feel like they're getting something that the $5 people aren't. I have friends of mine who have $25 levels, $100 levels, $30 levels. So I would say my pricing is pretty good. It's not cheap, but I don't think it's incredibly expensive either. Um, but I mean, everyone's different. I mean, I know some comics who have like $1 level, but I think at least my thought process is you get what you pay for. So if someone's only charging you $1, I don't think the content is going to be very good. Not in every case, but like and since you're in Canada, I want you. Oh, it's all good. I mean, listen, $5 is a lot a month, to be honest with you. 20 bucks is, I think I have three people out of the 13 who do $20. I'm reading this book on my Canadian hockey friend Aaron Volpati. He has a great story about his time getting into the NHL and more importantly, staying in the NHL. So if you like books on hockey, please check that out. I don't get a cut. Oh, all good, Catherine, all good. I mean, listen, who am I to sit there and say what's expensive for you or vice versa, I certainly have leather jackets in my closet where people go, "You paid what for that?" And then I have some of my high fashion friends who are like, "That's a cheap jacket." Well, I mean, I think, I've done stand up for 23 years, and, so I think I mean, listen, who am I to sit there and say what you think is funny or what the 13 people who are subscribers think is funny. I will say I've lost very few subscribers. I think I've lost 2 of 15, which is pretty good. But I obviously wish I had a lot more subscribers, but it's all good. You should come down. I was surprised when I went to Vancouver for the UFC fight. I think it was the fight Shane Carwin fought Brock Lesnar, and I remember walking around the arena, and just the marijuana was just everywhere. I mean, I got a contact high, and when we sat pretty high up, but I actually liked it for the UFC because the cage wasn't in the way. People were smoking weed, and like it was kind of wild to see that. But Catherine, I hope I have you as a new fan, not on Patreon, but just maybe even if you just subscribe on YouTube, that helps me out. And to anyone else listening, you know, if you can't give to Patreon, that's totally fine. I don't make a living off of what I make on Patreon. And I don't like when comics beg for money, Podcasts and streams these days, they've really turned into like a Jerry Lewis telethon. Give me money, give me money. I make my money in stand up and voiceovers. But hey, who doesn't like to get paid for their work? So that's all. I will. Oh, thank you, Catherine. Hey, I'll take it. Tim Dillon a couple months ago at the Comedy Store, even he was kind of like ragging on my social media. He's like, dude, you're really funny. You should have more fans. And I'm like, hey, I'm trying, man. I don't know what I'm doing. And he was like, all you need is 2,000 fans, Earl, to make a good living at stand-up. So, that kind of got me motivated to, be more proactive on here. And I do like talking. I like talking a lot about hockey, but like hockey streams are limited in terms of the audience appeal, especially in the summer. There's not a lot going on. But I do like watching pro wrestling. I do every now and then I'll do an AEW Dynamite recap. So I try and give you a lot of free content, and hopefully you like it. I don't have any merchandise for sale or anything. I don't want to be one of those comics who have like tons of merch, but they don't have 10 minutes of material. No, I'm more AEW than WWE. I don't like the product right now in WWE, but I think they'll survive without my money. I'm getting excited to watch the next AEW pay-per-view. I think it's All In from London. It's a big international card. So there'll be, I think, lots of international wrestlers, probably a lot of guys from New Japan. Well, yeah, you're probably Inappropriate Earl, the podcast. I'm going to reboot that and get that going again. But I am hoping to see a lot of international wrestlers on the AEW Supercard from London. Okada from Japan, Ibushi, Jay White, Kenny Omega, all the big ones. Some surprises. Sting, is my guy. Goldberg, is rumored to be coming back and, for like a one-off match. I don't know if I want to see that because he doesn't look like the Goldberg that I grew up watching. He's in his 50s now. Like, I'm in my 50s. I don't look like I did. Well, actually, I look pretty good. Oh, yeah, I love pro wrestling. My TV just turned back on again. So that's the time I was watching New Jack City. So I'll log off to New Jack City. Earl Skakel. Come back for more, Catherine. I'll see you later.